It is Thursday, May 29th, 2015. It's 9 a.m. and we're here to meet and review and award bid proposals for the wage study. And I will turn it over to Colleen Rosen, our grants administrator.
Perfect. So one thing, kind of a minor correction on the agenda title of it. These are requests for proposals, is a different way that proposals and bids are handled. And so that's just in the verbiage of the justification when you accept it.
Did we get copies for the public?
Yeah, I have these. I just wasn't sure what we were starting with.
Oh, yeah. So I sent you the proposals that we received. I sent it out to the 7 different ones. I only had the 2 responses that came back. So those are the 2 that that I sent to you for review.
Mm-hmm.
I did put together based on the request for proposal, which I also, when I sent that out, so that everybody who received that would know what the grading criteria would be.
Mm-hmm.
So in there it says, here's how we're going to evaluate it. And so that was how I put together that form that I sent for you guys to kind of look through them and grade and figure out which one came on top for you. So there were the 2 proposals that we received from Best Day HR and
Thompson.
And from Thompson. Yep. And they came in quite a bit different on the price, so it was just down to what do you think fulfills that. When I was going through all this information, and that's how I put together the proposal, looking at things that we've received in the past, conversations that Jeff and I had, plus what had come together during the budget cycle and the conversations over what the wages were intended to be and where they needed to be again. But looking at the AmeriBand, that last one that we had accepted previously was 20 to 25,000. Is that right? Let me get my numbers here.
Something like that.
Up to 40,000, I think, was what was approved, and it said, you know, it could be, and based on that. So that was that was kind of the budget that was approved previously. I didn't put a budget in the request for proposal just to kind of give people that freedom to say, here's our package, here's how we think that we can solve your problem. And so when they sent each of the proposals back, they both kind of addressed the same thing. So I just left that up to you guys, evaluating those on what did it meet the purposes that you were going to, and which one met what you were trying to accomplish.
I don't have it in front of me right now. Which one was the more detailed?
The Best Day HR.
That was the expensive one.
That was, yes, very clear.
But it also seems to be the one that actually delves into the questions that we had.
Yeah, clear timelines, clear costs per. The Thompson was a little bit more succinct, but didn't necessarily give some of the timelines and things that we were looking for. So again, it's totally up to you guys on which one you felt would be able to meet the needs that you were trying to accomplish with getting the survey done. They both have different methods. One's doing the point factor method. One is doing other through like PRR and doing comparisons throughout. I did contact the references that Best Day HR had. Everybody had good references. I ran across Blaine County Commissioner in an AI conference that I was in, and she talked about Thompson and what they did. So both of them have good reviews. Their references match their capabilities.
You know, one of the things I really want to make sure that we do on this is to ensure that they go over our benefits, because our benefits really in this county are better than most other counties.
Right.
And so that really needs to be kind of spelled out that
It's a wage and
it's a
benefit
wage,
study.
part of a wage.
Yeah.
So that can be something that is clarified in contracts with that. And I believe that would be, so there's like matrices and things, and they'll evaluate that. One of the conversations with references, and we can be very clear with that, if Best HR is the one that you go with, that the references that they had, it was more only comparing to other municipalities. So do you want market where it's everybody, or do you want just comparing what other counties and cities are doing in the state, because that's a little bit different in how their approach might be, or what we need to convey to them, whoever wins this.
I think they both kind of did a market analysis of our area as well. So that, but that's what's hard. We have mining and we have, which is going to be really difficult to compete against. But then, same way with Kootenai County.
Mhm.
I mean, it's so we're kind of in a unique situation where I think we kind of need both.
Mhm.
Maybe a little both would be probably the best route to go.
And that, that can be either one. And that was one of the conversations, is they didn't put that into the work
Mm-hmm.
requirements for Best HR. They said they did a phenomenal job of comparing to other municipalities, but they would like to have seen market wages as well. And that was one of the smaller, I think that was Teton County that I was talking to, because you can go over to Jackson or someplace else, and they said that was part of our shortfall, is we did not ask them to do comparisons to market. It was just on other municipalities, which is going to be lower. What are we trying to compete with to get employees in when it comes to open market? And so, they said they did a phenomenal job of putting that together and doing a really great package, and it did fit their budget and their long-term goals. They just had neglected to put in the scope when they asked them to do this to also include market.
Mr. Chairman, I personally like the more detailed proposal with Best Day. I feel like I like the timeline, and I like the amount of detail they're going into. Of course, I don't like the price, but it is still far less than what we had planned on initially. I just feel that this one goes into a lot more detail. I would hate to do this and end up with a bunch of unanswered questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other thing is too is have we're the only ones that have seen this so far, right? These bids.
Correct.
Maybe if we can give it a week and send it out to all the other elected and the department heads, to have them look at it. I to see, especially Ben and Jerry, because they were really involved in wanting to get this done. So I wanted to make sure that they had a say in it as well, so that if there's something that they can see that's missing, or because really it's hard for us because we're just overlooking all the departments. We're not within it. We don't know what everybody does. And do you think that would be fair to let those guys
It wouldn't
have
hurt
a chance?
anything at all.
No, I think that would be a good idea too. Have their input.
So you want elected? Who do you want this sent to?
Let's just do the elected officials and the department heads,
Okay.
like Richard and
Jessica.
Jessica from Rhodes and Dan and then all the elected officials. And just give them, see if we can give them 7 days to review it. I know it's short notice, but
I will, as long as that goes in the minutes, then I can amend that to the respondents and say this is the next step, because our award was supposed to be tomorrow according to the timeline.
okay. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's in the request for proposal, but that's okay. We can say that I can just send that out to the two respondents and say this is what the commissioners have asked. We will have an extension of 7 days to be able to award the contract for review for our department heads and elected officials.
Okay. That would be great.
Okay. So to be clear, it's just to have them put their input on who they think is going to accomplish what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Do you need a motion?
Yes, please.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I guess I'll motion that we give this 1 week, at which time we'll solicit input from the elected officials and department heads, and then reconvene in a week and award where we see fit.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And on that discussion, we have training next week, but are you going to be here Friday?
Yes, I can be here Friday.
On Friday?
No, I'm not.
And Dave won't be here Friday. I will be here Friday, I hope, because I have jury duty tomorrow.
Okay.
So we can just push it out to Friday. If we had to, it would be the following Monday if I couldn't get away or couldn't, if I got picked. So okay. So we'll schedule it for next Friday, 9:30, or whatever time you think.
No, that's fine with
Good,
me.
okay.
Yeah.
And you want to call in or public comment.
Just wanted to make sure the benefits was included in this and Valley was included. Franklin County doesn't pay taxes here, so that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. You have anything, Jerry?
Just skimming through this, I didn't see anything about an update in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That's something they could comment on. I did see in here, that they made a comment that the labor market has changed drastically in the last couple of years.
Right.
So, if you could get some idea that 5 years down the road, it might be at a minimal cost to an update might be of interest for the future.
So an update to, okay, so both of them kind of hit on it. HR did a good job of saying what we will do is create a matrix for you that you can do updates and sustainable from there. And again, when I talked to the resource, the references, everybody said we go back to them constantly and it's just minimal to update them. So they can be looked at later to
And I
update them.
get the clerk involved because 90% of the data is from her, so it's going to be a workload lift for her office. So,
And a big help, and I haven't found them yet. If you guys have all of those that were already compiled, it would be a big help to get the job descriptions and things that were already done that Tracy had worked on. That'll help with whomever is chosen. We can kind of come in and say, there's that. And so,
BJ to see if he can find that.
Okay.
That would be to do that. Okay.
the original wage study, did they do much collection of information?
They did a lot.
They did a
Do we
lot.
have that information?
Oh, it was sent to Tracy's email, so hopefully we'll be able to.
So BJ might be able to retrieve that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people that did their job description. There was like a 4-page survey that was done under American.
That would lessen
Mm-hmm.
the work for Lori and
Mm-hmm.
maybe lessen the cost too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. Is there anything further? Any other questions? Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.